Hello, in this video I will explain how to use the quizzing and polling functionality in the Vimeo Interactivity functionality. First of all, go to Interactive Editor, and if you get prompted to make a selection, please select New. And now you find several options here on the left. You can also see that I have already added a couple of quizzes and overlays to my video. Now, there are two ways to add quizzing and polls to your video. The first one is to directly navigate to polls and quizzes, and the other one is to combine polls and quizzes with overlays. Now, the second option can be useful if you want to combine your polls and quizzes with a certain layout, if you want to create a template as well that you can reuse, or if you want to also combine the quizzing functionality with branching. Now we will start first of all with the polls and quizzes, and you can see that I've already added a couple of quizzes here. Now when I navigate to my timeline, you can see what that looks like after I have added the question. From here you can change the font, change the text colors and also the background color. You could also rotate the quiz, which might be useful if you want to save some space somewhere. And you can add animations which prompt your users to notice the quiz more. If you navigate to the adding section, then you will see from here the answer options. Of course, you could also add further answers and select one answer as correct. Below, you also see the option to pause the video when questions appear. I would recommend to use that as it then prompts the users to answer that question. If you enter a slightly longer text, so here you can see that you can enter up to 120 signs. And if you have a slightly longer text, Vimeo will also adjust the size of your reply boxes. In the timeline below, you can adjust how long the quiz should be displayed in the video. And from here, you can, for example, duplicate the quiz and then move that to a different section in the video as well. And this way you can reuse the quiz more easily across one video. Now we navigate from the overview of the polls and quizzes to the settings. If you have several quizzes added to your video, you can define a passing score here, which is relevant for what is being shown in the results screen, which I'll talk about later. So far, you can only define one passing score. There are a couple of other options you can use. You can show the correct answer. You can shuffle the answers and also limit the number of retakes, which is relevant, especially if you are using the quizzing functionality in conjunction with SCORM files, for example. So going back to my polls and quiz overview, now quickly want to show you what we're displaying in the results screen. The results screen will always be shown at the very end of the video. From here you can adjust the text and then also reset it to default, and you can also show a little confetti or even add a custom logo. Now you see here that there are 4 questions added, but only for the second and the fourth question they have the ability to duplicate the quiz question. The reason for that being is that question 1 and 3 I've combined with an overlay, which is what we're going to look at next. So navigating away from polls and quizzes to overlays, I now click on the plus sign here to create a new overlay, from where I can, for example, create an overlay from scratch, or I can navigate to the team templates, which I have done here. So when I click on the plus sign, I can add my template that I've created before. And navigating here on the timeline, you see that I have a background. Further settings can be made here at the top. bar, and settings can be altered here by navigating to the wheel. I have added my quiz. So if I now double click on the quiz question, again, you see that the question manager pops up here on the left. And again, you can prompt Vimeo to stop the video when the question appears and add more answers and so on and so forth. Moreover, I have linked the answers to a hotspot. Now for the hotspot, I've selected to trigger an action, which is jump to a time in a video. And from here, I've selected that user selecting this option should be prompted to minute 2 and 30 seconds in the video. Additionally, you can ask Vimeo here to pause the video when a hotspot is selected, but in this video, that doesn't make necessarily sense. Once you've created your overlay, you can click here on Save Overlay, or again, you can save this overlay as a new template. And in this case, this would then appear here on the left. So once you have added your overlay, again, you click on Save Overlay. And again, from here, you can then adjust the time for how long this overlay should be displayed. I've also chosen to work with the black background here, but of course you could also use a image that you've uploaded as in this example. So when designing your quiz questions, please consider what purpose they should serve. Should viewers be able to find the answer to your quiz question in the video or not? And if you are working with existing videos and you do not want the questions to pause your video when they're being displayed, you can always add an additional section into your video using the Vimeo editor, then work with a background image or text that you add in there. Vimeo also provides a preview option that will show you what the final result will look like. Here you see the 2 blue dots in the video. These are the polls and quizzes as per the first option I've presented, whereas the overlays will not be marked by a blue hotspot. And as a reminder, the results screen will only be shown at the very end of the video. So when viewers navigate to the quiz in question and they're being prompted to answer, the correct selection will lead to Vimeo flashing that answer up in green. If it's incorrect, it will be flashing up in red. Now you see I've added my branching example here and I want to select A, so the video should prompt me to minute 2 of the video. I've now navigated back to my manage page and gone through the quiz one more time. And jump to the end of the video. And luckily, I did not fail my quiz. From the Manage page, you can also navigate to the Analytics section here on the left. And scrolling down, you can pull up the interactive polls and quiz replies. Questions will only appear here if a viewer has already clicked on them. Also, if you make changes to your questions, like you remove one, then they will still appear here in the results. And you can also download the poll information. Please note that we do not currently track individual responses, so for each quiz question, you will get aggregated information. If you have worked with overlays and hotspots, you can also see if any users have clicked on them. Therefore, it makes sense to label them accordingly when you are creating a new hotspot or overlay. Thank you for watching. More information can be found on our Help Center. I hope you enjoyed trying this out.